I'd just like to thank Dr. Joyce for letting me come here this afternoon. We have a returnee from our international student exchange program abroad, and I just wanted to take the opportunity today just to present to you some opportunities that are available for you as CDU students to potentially also experience some time abroad at one of our partner institutions. And it's really quite timely because we've just developed this new global mobility website, and I'm very pleased to announce, not that I understand the importance necessarily of this achievement, but our global mobility website on the SEO, the search engine optimization, was #1 last Friday, which with 21.5 million hits or sites, I'm not sure, is an amazing achievement for a small regional university to have a global mobility website at #1. So if you put in global mobility, CDU on Friday would come up on the Google search engine optimization. So we were pretty pleased with that. So this is just a screen dump of our new global mobility website. It comes under /international. So it will take you through to information that we can provide you with regards to opportunities to study overseas. And it's separated into 4 tabs: inbound students, outbound students, contact us, which is me and my colleagues at the Office of International Services, and information for staff, because there are a whole range of opportunities now for studying overseas, many of them funded by the Australian government. Some come under the student exchange program, but there are other broader mobility programs that are available to students. So the Australian government actually provides a range of programs for funding for inbound non-Australian and outbound Australian students. Some are funded through the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and others are funded through the Department of Education and Training. So depending on which program you may be interested in will determine which department of the Australian government actually funds the program. We have, under the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, we have the new flagship program, the New Colombo Plan. You may have seen something in the news about it. Julie Bishop, Minister Bishop, is the one that's been really promoting this program. It's an opportunity for Australia to exercise its foreign diplomacy in terms of identifying young Australian students of merit to engage in either a scholarship program or a mobility program overseas, with the intention of developing diplomatic ties primarily, and to identify and develop future leaders of the of Australia. So the NCP scholarship program is that students can go to 38 locations in the Indo-Pacific. You must, however, be between 18 to 28 years, so that's a bit of a restriction to the scholarship program, and you have to perform in excess of 70% graded average or equivalent. So you have to be a meritorious student across your studies at the university, and you can study up to 1 full year. The other programs come under the New Colombo Plan mobility programs, again 38 locations throughout the Indo-Pacific. And there's a bit more flexibility with regards to age range there, and those programs are predominantly intensive short-term programs, anything from 2 weeks up to a semester, and programs include things like Bahasa Indonesia in-country language study. It may be intensive studies in law in Indonesia. It may be teacher placements in Hong Kong, etc., etc. So in 2015, one of our students, Jared Ivory, was awarded an NCP scholarship, one of only 69 recipients, and the only one for CDU, which was a pretty amazing effort. And then this is just a pic of some of the students who were able to combine some travel and recreational leave with their studies. This is Borobudur in Indonesia, in Yogyakarta. So again, just dividing it up into scholarships and mobility. Jared commences his program in September. With regards to mobility, CDU as a small regional university actually attracted in excess of $500,000 in funding across our mobility programs. And this is just a little bit of shorthand for some of the programs that we were successful in getting grants for. And this is just under New Colombo Plan. This isn't the other mobility programs that are available. So School of Law, Education, Creative Arts and Humanities, School of Environment and School of Engineering and IT were the successful recipients this year. The other program that is sponsored by the Department of Education and Training comes under the banner of Endeavour Mobility Programs, and this is what Valentina participated in. Valentina won an international student exchange scholarship to the value of $5,000 to study with one of our North American partners, University of Southern Florida, South Florida, Tampa, yeah. So exchange students can study 1 or 2 semesters at our partner institution, and we have reciprocal agreements in place whereby we also welcome USF students to CDU. So it's a reciprocal arrangement, students in, student out. We keep a balance. At the moment, our numbers are set at 2 students in, 2 students out. We have other programs under short-term overseas programs, and this is where a lot of your in-country language programs, your intensive programs in environment fall under. So we've had great success with those as well. So these programs are short-term and up to 6 months. So generally, students who are enrolled in selected courses throughout the university may participate in those programs. The schools coordinate the programs, and the unit coordinators in themselves administer the programs and monitor and evaluate the programs. This is all about the 2016 opportunities. So we've never actually applied for a VET outbound, and the Asia Postgraduate and the Asia VET program are new in 2016. So at this stage, we haven't been involved in these mobility programs, but in 2016 we are certainly looking to be able to win at least one grant under those various headings, because of course a lot of the programs have been focused on undergrads, but we're certainly trying to get VET and postgraduate students out as well. Sorry, you have a question? Oh, sorry, yes. Yeah, sorry. So if we talk about exchange, we have partnerships with universities in Asia, Europe, Scandinavia and North America. As a CDU exchange student, you pay your normal CDU fees to CDU, and you don't pay any further fees to the host university. And that's what I mean by reciprocity. You go out having paid your fees to CDU, a student comes in having paid their fees to their home university. So no fees change hands.
How does unit, like how do you, unit prices, how do you gauge what we have to pay for each unit we do abroad?
You don't have to, because you've paid your unit fees here. That's the basis of the exchange agreement. So it's reciprocal. So you just pay your fees here. You don't have to pay any other fees, except if there are certain fees that the university insists on that you go to, which may be around insurance or something like that.
So you get 4 free units?
Yeah, you have to. Generally speaking, on exchange, you complete 4 units to the value of CDU's 40 credit points. Generally, students will do subjects that are electives, depending on the degree that you study, and depending on the flexibility and the rigidity of the structure of the course will determine the subjects that you may be able to study at the home university. The easiest is to pick up elective subjects. Doesn't mean to say that you can't do other subjects that are equivalent to those units that you would study within your degree, but you have to get approval from your course coordinator in order that you may enrol in similar or equivalent subjects at your home university to make sure you get credit. This is all about getting credit towards your home degree. So it's not an interruption to your studies as such. It's actually a complement, and it enables you to complete and proceed with your university without any disruption.
So the $5,000 goes towards your living expenses?
The $5,000 is a contribution to the overall costs. So it will be a contribution towards your airfare, your visa, your living costs and any other associated costs with travel. Your travel insurance is covered by the university. You need to complete a movement requisition, and the movement requisition will cover your study at the host institution for the period of time that you are studying there, with a couple of days either side to cover transit to and from the host institution. If you wish to travel around that, you need to obtain a further travel insurance. Enrol as a student at CDU for whichever semester that you're going to be studying, and the fees that you pay for the intended subjects apply to the host university. Yeah, so you don't have to worry about that. You pay your fees as normal, but that covers you for the host institution.
Okay.
So there's the exchange where no fees change hands. You can also study at partner universities outside of the partnerships that we have with CDU, but you would study as a study abroad student. And that means that you actually will have to pay fees to the host institution, okay? Because these agreements are legal contracts between universities to ensure that the financial aspects are taken care of. And also, to answer your question, if $5,000 is not sufficient to cover your overall experience, you can also apply to OS Help for funding as a loan to top up the $5,000. Okay? Yeah, and so this is about the study abroad program, that if you don't want to go to a partner university, you can go as a study abroad, but again, you have to pay fees in this case, and you can also apply for a loan. Key deadlines, we actually have for fall semester 2015, 9 scholarships, as you would have seen on the previous slide, and those exchange and study abroad applications are due by the 30th of April. There is some flexibility around that time, but we are certainly encouraging students to take advantage of the scholarships. If we don't use them, it goes back to the government. Okay. If you're interested in Endeavour and an NCP mobility application, such as an in-country language program, you need to speak further with your coordinating school and course coordinator. And if you are interested in being nominated as a scholarship recipient, meeting some of those meritorious criteria, including community engagement and community leadership, those scholarship nominations are closed on the 31st of July. And I actually work with academics and administrative staff in schools to identify nominees. We talk with the nominees to see that they're comfortable, that they wish to have their name put forward to Canberra, because Canberra does the final selection, and they will follow through with the process of interviews for selection of the recipients. So that selection process is quite rigorous, and the information you have to provide is quite rigorous as well. But the outcome, if you are successful, is fantastic. And then just again, this is the mobility website. I would strongly encourage you to go and have a little look. There's a lot of information on the website about opportunities to study overseas, and our contact points are also included on the website. So Megan, my colleague, is going to come and be at 1 o'clock and be available for questions, but Brett and I can also assist you for exchange and mobility programs. Thank you very much for your time, and I strongly encourage you to have a study overseas experience, because Valentine is going to tell you all about it now.